AEO, GEO, cool, right? But if those are the only things that you're focusing on right now, I think you're completely missing the mark and you're doing your clients or yourself a huge disservice. All right, guys, so there's been tons of stuff online right now about AEO and GEO and traditional SEO. And so a lot of people are wondering what they should be focusing on right now in order to be able to be found in these AI platforms. So when it comes to Google, there's been, straight from the horse's mouth from Gary Iles, who works at Google. There's this article on Search Engine Journal that says Google says you don't need AEO or GEO to rank in AI overviews. So I've got Matt Seekers here, one of the experts here, SEO experts at BKA Content, to talk about this, because I do think that there's this critical point where digital marketers and content marketers are asking this question, right? We see it on LinkedIn every day. It's on Facebook. It's on all of the main news media outlets about AEO, GEO, all these new acronyms that we're hearing, but we're not hearing a lot about SEO, right? Or traditional SEO. And I think right now is, AEO, GEO is like this shiny new little toy and distraction that everybody's turning to. And so let's talk about what those things even are. Are they even important? And should you even be focusing on traditional SEO anymore? So Matt, let's first just start with what is AEO or GEO, the way that these people are talking about it.
I know there's even AI SEO, but AEO stands for Answer Engine Optimization. Sorry, I had to look that up. Where GEO is Generative Engine Optimization. Again, they all just mean AI SEO. How do you optimize for AI SEO? And yeah, it is. Just to the credit of some of the people that have created the acronyms, they're trying to make something new out of new updates. So they're trying to generate something original and creative. So I will give them that as a content creator, trying to create a new term to kind of rally around where SEO has been around for so long. But as far as actual meat within those acronyms, there is nothing new or very little.
Wait, so
Very
you're
little new.
saying that before SEO that nobody ever tried to answer questions or like have answers in their content? Like that's a new thing, AEO?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what that would imply, right? Oh, we got to optimize for creating answers. No, that's the way it's been or it should have been for at least the last 20 years online. But yeah, they're funny. It's just people taking advantage of what's happening right now. But yeah, there really is no difference. And I know there's been other articles where they've done studies and talked about how these other LLMs like ChatGPT and Perplexity, they still are just using the ranking signals from the top results on Google to give you the answers. So if you're ranking well on SEO using SEO, you're just going to come up in those AI searches. So in
Yeah, I
that
find this
sense,
interesting, right? Like it says right here, Google's Gary Iles confirmed that AI search does not require specialized optimization, saying that AI SEO is not necessary and that the standard SEO is all that is needed for both AI overviews and AI mode. So let's just clarify. We are talking about Google's AI. Okay, so again, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, all that stuff that people are using are cool things, and they are getting more and more users all the time. But Google is still the big player when it comes to driving traffic and just users in general, right? There are just so many more people that use Google. So while AEO and GEO might absolutely apply to some of the other platforms that we're talking about, like ChatGPT or Perplexity and things like that, Google is telling us that it doesn't matter for the way that they run their search engine. Now, we all know that Google says one thing and sometimes does another, and
no,
we
stop.
may or may not be getting the full truth from Google, right? But from what we have seen, especially you and I and all the testing that we've been doing over the last year, I think you and I could confirm that that is still true as of right now.
Yep.
That traditional SEO is still the way that you get ranked in the AI overview and in AI mode, right? AI mode is relatively new at the time of recording this video, that people are still just starting to use. And so it's important to understand that SEO, traditional SEO, is still what is being rewarded in the AI overviews and the way that Google's AI works.
Yeah, and I'll backtrack just a little bit because traditional SEO still takes into account the different ways that Google's going to serve up information on their search engine. So think about like the Google answer box when that came out. There were some additional tips and tricks to try and come up in that search answer box, the same way that there are a few additional things that maybe you weren't doing before that could be done to help you come up in AI overview. So I don't want to pretend like SEO doesn't change a little bit with the way that search engines change. Like it does, like that's smart as a marketer to adapt. But in reality, those are just small little additional things. They're not the thing that changes the game for coming up, if that makes sense. That's still built on the backbone of good site structure, hierarchy, the way that you use your keywords in your main pages, just the way your site's set up, right? Do you cover your services? Do you cover your locations? Have you done keyword research to optimize those pages for your keywords? And then some of the additional stuff that's helping with AI overviews right now. And we did a seminar recently where we talked about this, but like FAQs on pages where it makes sense. Again, people are going to spam all this stuff just because it's new, but creating FAQs on your pricing page or FAQs on your service pages that say what does something like this service cost? How long does it take to see results from this service? You know, all those sorts of things you can add 2 pages on your site and potentially come up a little bit more often in the AI overviews because AI overviews love succinct question answer. That's what the answer engine optimization. But you could probably boil that entire acronym down to use FAQs on the pages where it makes sense. Like that would be my new definition for AEO.
Right. Or GEO would be use a bullet list a bazillion
Yeah.
times on all of your pages, right? Like
Yeah.
that's how it could be said in a different way that means the same thing.
But
So
even that though, Greg, like with GEO, sorry not to cut you off, but bullet points were already important. You know what I mean? And AI has taken that to the nth degree. Sorry, the nth degree. But it still was important having concise information. LLMs want it even more concise, and you can use the LLM to help you make the content you've already created more concise. But it's still not new. It's just maybe reinforcing that this piece of search is becoming slightly more important than it was before.
yeah, I'm just going to quote one more part from this article where it says their core message, meaning Google, right, is that new AI powered features like AI overviews and AI mode are built upon the same fundamental processes as traditional search. They utilize the same crawler, the Googlebot. I think that's really important to understand. The same core index and are influenced by the same ranking systems. So the exact same bot that is being used for traditional search is the same bot that is being used to serve up
Yeah.
traditional, AI answers. So again, AEO, GEO, cool, right? But if those are the only things that you're focusing on right now, I think you're completely missing the mark and you're doing your clients or yourself a huge disservice because Google is still the main driver of traffic and it is still the main tool that other AI platforms, like you said, are using to find what Google deems is the right answer, right? Google has built an entire business on trying to find the right answer. And so all these AI platforms aren't going to re-engineer that. They're not going to recreate that. They're just going to leverage what Google is already doing. And they're just using agents to go to Google and pull up the top 4 results and serve that up in their answers. So now let's answer the big question again, which hopefully is pretty obvious at this point to content marketers and small businesses. And that question is, should you continue to focus on traditional SEO? So how would you answer that, Matt?
The answer is yes. I mean, to your point, again, we see shiny objects and we get distracted and we think everything has to change. But just like Google talked about, they're using the same bot. They've been using AI in search for the last decade. Like it's just been packaged a little bit differently in the last couple of months to where it feels like it's something totally different. But they're just building on what was already there. The same is with your marketing, right? You need to keep building on the foundation that was getting you results in the first place. Now you might have to make some changes to improve quality, but yes, I mean SEO is incredibly important. And again, I think there's opportunity here. I know there's some people that will say, "Hey, it's dead." Or you're not being rewarded like you used to. And there is some of that with AI overviews and no click searches. but still there's opportunity because a lot of people are seeing that and they're dropping off the map. They're cutting their marketing budgets. They're stopping all SEO. And guess what? They're getting even less clicks than they were before. I think that's happening a lot. I mean, we've talked to a lot of people where they just have not put a preference on it. That means there's opportunity. It doesn't mean that you keep things exactly the same, but it definitely doesn't mean that you stop. I think, if you can take advantage of stuff when there's uncertainty, and you take advantage of something that is working, you can pull ahead of competition. So I think, yes, you continue to do SEO, but you just do it smarter, right? Now there's all these AI tools that can help you to make your efforts go further. I'm not talking about, spamming content to get, just a ton out there that's garbage. I think quality, it's always mattered, but it does matter even more than ever before because now you're kind of also competing with the AI overview. So if you want to get eyeballs to your actual website, you got to have something more than just written content, which used to be the backbone of all SEO was written words on a page. And while it still is, now you can add more to those pages. We talked about FAQs, but you can add videos. That's been a huge push for us right now. YouTube is the new content marketing platform. We have all these amazing results of using blog posts, getting like 9 out of 10 to rank and to rank in the top 10. We're taking that exact same strategy and now we're applying it to YouTube and creating videos instead of blogs. And we're seeing the same benefit or a bigger benefit by just taking what we already know and applying it to another platform that helps improve the quality of our content. So, yeah, SEO is not dead. I can see though from an outside perspective, it looking like you're getting less from it. And while that may be true in some aspects, you can adapt, use those same strategies that work and just adapt and use it in some different ways, some different platforms, some different mediums, and still benefit.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, right? We were talking about YouTube and kind of the new strategy of using YouTube with your traditional SEO. We have some videos about that, so make sure that you check those out. We'll put links to those in the description below. But something else that's just really seemed to emerge right now with the way of, the distraction of AI and AI search is local SEO, right? Like tons of people still use Google to look for businesses or local businesses. And that is one part of Google that is still driving an insane amount of traffic. So if you're so focused on AEO and GEO and Old MacDonald had a farm, EIEIO, you're going to miss out on the things that are still working and the things that are actually driving traffic. And you're going to be wasting your time on something that isn't going to yield you the result that you want. And yes, traditional SEO is hard work. Like it just is. It's not easy. There's a lot of aspects to it. But to your point, if you're willing to put the time in and you're willing to put strategy and the work behind it, the reward is that you can still get traffic and eyeballs on your company, right? Whether you're local or national. So I think that's just the main takeaway that we would both have for anybody who's asking that question today. Should I still focus on traditional SEO? The answer is until Google is no longer used by any users at all, yes, still use it. Don't stop doing it. Keep doing it.
And also, I think you hit the nail on the head, but I would add too to people that have not ever really invested in SEO, all the AEO, AI, whatever, that should not hinder you from getting into the SEO game. If you have not invested in SEO to begin with, like you absolutely have to. If anything, this is a call to like you'll never be found ever if you don't have like a foundation. Like you have to fix your SEO foundation with your website to be found at all. But now you can do it in such a way that you'll start to be picked up by these LLMs. If you can be concise and use FAQs, all that stuff is more important than it ever was before. Now, when we talk about like ongoing SEO efforts, let's say you've built your website, you've capitalized on your locations and your services, and you have good content built for all those pages on your site, your ongoing content marketing. Yeah, I do think there are some changes like we talked about with utilizing YouTube, LinkedIn, kind of a search everywhere mentality instead of just focusing on blog posts with your content marketing. Like that has adjusted. But when it comes to SEO for your main site, if you have not invested yet, like again, that's where I think there's opportunity. Like do it now because there's probably a ton of business owners that were like on the fence with SEO. And then this all came and they're like, oh, well, I'll just use ChatGPT to build a website. Like that still won't get you results. Not at all. Like there has to be strategy behind the way that you build your site, the keywords that you choose, your target market, and the way you build those pages. Like that is still crucial to the search engines, no matter how it continues to evolve. If you don't have a good foundation that you're built on to have search engines find you, like you might as well get out of the online space with your business. Like go knock doors, I guess, to try and get business, because you just won't be found. So yes, that is still crucial for newer business owners that haven't invested more than ever. And then for existing business owners that are looking to do ongoing digital marketing, yeah, there are some tweaks. You got to be alert and aware, and you got to use the tools that have come out in a way that help you to scale that a little bit better, to have it feel like it's worth it.
If you like this video, please make sure that you hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you'll be notified when we put out more helpful content like this. And if you want to learn how to triple your rankings on Google for the #1 spot using YouTube videos, then make sure that you watch this video where we go over from start to finish on how to do that. So watch this video and we'll see you over there.